or if you just want to listen into people, you're welcome.
I was going to say, you're saying that you're made nervous by what's going on, and you think that there should be another way, but as someone who's, I'm not nervous, I'm desperate. I am an American who's I worked 2 jobs at a time taking care of people in the healthcare system. Now, here I need help, there is nothing for me. And reforming the courts and doing immigration reform, that doesn't help me. The things that they are talking about truly qualify to help me. You know, and there are many, many, many people like me. I can tell you that as a nurse, I've been on both sides. I've taken care of the elderly who told me, who I said to them, when did you take your medicine? Well, that was expensive. I'm talking about heart medicine. That's expensive. I took it yesterday. But it says here you're supposed to take it 4 times a day. Well, honey, I only take it every other day because it's just too much. I myself have not gotten 2 of my medicines that I'm supposed to have because I can't go to mine. Because continually to go to my family and saying, can you pay this? Can you do this? Can you help me with this? When I stood on my own 2 feet, all this time is not a possibility to me. And there are many, many people out here like me. And I can understand your point as well, because you don't want to get to this point. And you don't want your money affected so that you are at this point, but you also have to understand that there should be something there for me. And I have, you know, when I've done what I was supposed to do, but nothing, because the illness that I had was cancer of the uterus. So therefore I couldn't have children. But now I'm being penalized because I didn't have children. And it's thrown up in my face. I was sent to disability told me that I needed to go see another doctor for a second opinion. Their doctor agreed I cannot work, but they still said, no, I don't qualify. And I'm still being made to appeal that. Which, you tell a depressed person, no, you're not depressed and you can work. When they know they can't, what does that do?
Let me just close by saying this to you. I want to get this right, or once I do. And I don't know what the final product will be. My hope is whether it's a public option or whether there'll be co-ops at the end of the day. Yesterday, the only thing, I'll tell you, yesterday somebody said to me, well, where do you get off saying that health care is a right and not a privilege? And I said, I'm guided by 3 things, and have been since I've been for a long time. And I said, the reason the 3 things that drive me are, A, what happened to us, and I saw that, and it broke a very wonderful man who deserved much better. But a very old-fashioned guy that thought it was his responsibility and he was going to do it. And that was one thing. The other thing is, I said the Constitution does say the life guarantees, supposed to guarantee us the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It doesn't say health care in there, but listen, if you're losing your home or you're in a situation like you are, it's awful hard. And I think the bare minimum we ought to have is plus. 2,000 years ago, someone said, whatsoever you do to the least of my people, that you do to me. And that is what I use to guide me in this whole thing, because I think we're a great nation with great people. And at the end of the day, we can, as I said, we can point our fingers and blame a certain segment here and there and this and that. But at the end of the day, I'd love to come back here a year from now, or even less, and be able to say to you, you're going to be able to purchase insurance, or you won't have to wait 2 years. Or if you're a woman that's had problems getting it, and paying $900 a month, that those days are gone, that you can go in and have the same type of health care that I have. Because, as I said earlier, why is it, any senator, any congressman I get to choose from 14 different plans. And I don't know why anybody in this room can't have the very same thing. And I think at the end of the day, we'll try to get it right, and we're not always good. And you're right. But I think that we have an obligation, and for those 400 people that will lose their lives today, and for the almost 12,000 who will lose their insurance, that the clock is ticking. and we've got to move. And I'm gonna push it. And at the end of the day, you know, the worst thing that can happen to me, someone said, well, you may lose. And I said, well, if I lose, and if I can go out saying that we were able to pass this, I do think this is going to be the biggest piece of legislation that any member of Congress has had to been able to vote for or against since Medicare. And I want to get it right, and I want to make sure that we do the best we can to help you. So
that same person that talked about what you do for the least of these also talks about the importance of life. And our government is saying we should all, as taxpayers, continually pay for abortion day in and day out. And we are killing many of the least of these.
well, as I said, in this bill, the Hyde Amendment.
$300 million goes to Planned Parenthood from our tax dollars every year.
Well,
what does Planned Parenthood do?
Teaches children to be more responsible.
Planned Parenthood is an abortion provider. Our tax dollars are paying for abortion.
Well, not in this bill, they're not. And I can tell
But
you.
they already are.
Well.
And if we're going to go around quoting the Bible.
Well, no, I only quoted in terms, from my perspective. Well, yeah, I understand you, and I appreciate, you know, your feelings on this.
And I'm not saying this is to get on Fox News. I think this is a wonderful meeting, and I really appreciate the sentiments.
Well, you're welcome.
Everybody here, I appreciate the comments that you made as well.
But I do have a fundamental belief that when I see people that came before our committee, and you're right, I agree with you on that end of it. But I also said, you know, in talking about this bill, when I see people and I hear the stories, and these are decent, ordinary, everyday people, and that's what I consider myself. I'm just trying to go to bat for those that don't have to be a voice for some people whose voices haven't been heard for a long time. And again, as I said, if you can make $200,000 a day, that company ought to pay that woman's claim. And I have a colleague, by the way, Donna Edwards, who was out of college and had a $115,000 bill. It took her 15 years to pay it. And so it can happen to anybody at any time. We're one paycheck away from being in the same mess that other people are in, and we got to fix it. So I appreciate your comments. I really do. Thanks, everybody.